Do you know how these episodes start? Do you have any idea of how the podcast starts? Listen, I'm not. Why do you say this? I mean, listen, I'm not. I just wonder. Do you know how it starts? What do you think happens in the beginning?
Introduction.
No, it's a freestyle.
Whoa, I cannot freestyle. I mean, I'm a poet, but I can't freestyle.
I love you.
Okay.
I love surprising people with that because they're like, "Oh hell no, I'm not about to freestyle." Well, I can't freestyle either, and I've been doing it for 60 plus episodes. So
Yeah.
I just do it because it's fun. You know what I mean? Just to start off, like my whole goal is to start it with like a fun vibe, but
Right.
I've noticed also it can go the other way. People get too nervous.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, and then it just throws it off. But all right, I can start. But give me a word.
Bananas.
Bananas. Yeah. Yeah. Bananas. This whole situation is bananas. I'd rather go and sit in the Bahamas. Yeah. Because I like islands. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Islands, eyelids. Like eyelids rhymes with islands, but I don't know what I could possibly say that could lead to eyelids. You know what I mean? Like you know when you have that word that rhymes, so you're like,
Yeah.
how do I get it from here to there,
To there,
and it
yeah.
makes sense. You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
know.
All right, I can. I'll give you. You are a poet. That's right. So listen.
Yes,
It's
but
not
I'm
rapping. Obviously, it's very different,
It's very
but it's words rhyming, so you can like
sometimes.
maneuver. Well, I guess yeah.
Sometimes.
There's certain
'Cause
like
I don't
free
even
rhyme.
like. Yeah, I don't rhyme like in my poems too. So.
Right. Oh, okay. It's more like
It's
you know
more of a
imagery and
yeah, and then I try to find like a flow to it.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to talk about poetry too. I find that very interesting. But all right, let's see what else. I mean, I don't know. This beat. Oh, I didn't read out what this beat is. Lights, inspiring trap beat, new rap, hip hop, instrumental music 2020, produced by Mikhail.
It's a nice
I
beat.
usually have to read that out because I don't want to get sued. So
Copyright.
let me give credit to the artist
Exactly.
so that like when it becomes popular, people are just like that's my beat right there. Why are you making music off of money off of it? It's done anyway. I like music too. A lot of this podcast has to do with music, even how we end
Right.
the episodes, how we started. I really like music, and this is my way to show that, I guess, because I can't just play. Like my dream podcast would be just like me play. It's like a radio station almost, actually.
Nice.
Like just playing music and just
Right.
talking about it, or like,
Right.
yeah, I'm probably gonna apply. I mean, are radio stations even like open at this point? Is that one of those jobs where like people can go?
I think so, or
I
maybe
don't know.
they're like working from home, but yeah, because
Yeah.
people still need to hear the news and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Could you introduce yourself to us? And mainly say your name because I don't want to get it wrong. So I would
Okay.
like you to say it, and then I'll try to learn it.
So I go by like multiple different names.
Oh wow, okay,
Yeah, my family calls me Jaha.
okay,
Close friends call me Jaha too, but
okay,
mainly like people call me Diakha or D, but I
Okay.
prefer D.
Prefer D because
Yeah.
you don't want people like mispronouncing Diakha or
Yes.
something. How do people say it? How do people say Diakha?
First timers usually they'll be like Diakha,
Oh, no.
Deka. Growing up, people mocked me and were just like Dicka, and I was just like, bro.
That's messed up, but that's
Yeah.
I mean, it's
like-
messed up. It's funny if you see it
I
outside of
laugh
yourself.
at it now.
Yeah, but that's messed up, man. Kids are horrible, man.
Yup.
Take a
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
now
That's
every
messed up.
time I introduce myself, it's like, yeah, my name is D. And then like my friends will be like, that's not her real name. Her real name is Diakha or Jaha.
Right.
But I'm just like, no, just tell them D.
So in formal situations, do you also say just D?
No, formal situations like work, I'll say Diakha. And
Okay.
then they'll ask me like, how do you say
How do you
that?
pronounce
And
it?
I'm
Yeah, because
just
they want to
like,
be safe. Yeah.
Diakha.
It's not that hard.
3 syllables.
Right, it's not that hard. Diakha.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, you said
It's
it
not
right.
bad. It's not hard. Maybe it's because I'm also first generation. Am I first generation? No, I moved here when I was 11, so I'm not even generation yet.
Yeah.
My kids will be first generation.
Right.
So maybe that's why I can probably pronounce it a little better.
Yeah.
Diakha. That's not hard. That's not hard at all. Especially if you hear it.
Struggle.
That's crazy. I mean, people struggle. I mean,
Yeah.
my name is Eladio. I mean, I don't. Some people don't even call me by my name. Sometimes.
Yeah. What do they
like,
call you?
Well, I mean, I honestly don't really care about correcting certain people. Honestly,
Right.
like, sometimes they just call me by the name of the other Hispanic person they know from our general area. So in high school, literally every grade,
Yeah.
there was, and even in middle school, if there was somebody whose name started with an E or was Dominican, that was my name too.
Oh my
So like, so like in middle school was my friend Eddie.
Yeah.
People would just call me Eddie because
Wow.
Eladio, Eddie. It was like, no, you're Eddie.
Oh my god.
And then in high school, like Octavio, which is
Yeah.
not even close to my name. My name is Eladio.
Not.
Well, I guess the IO at the end, Octavio, Eladio.
But still.
Yeah, but I mean, I've just gotten, yeah. So I don't even get mad when people like mispronounce Eladio because it's just like, I don't see it. I'm not even. I don't get mad at it because I'm
Right.
like, why would I waste time
much
and
time
energy
getting
trying to tell
mad.
them?
Exactly.
No, it's Eladio, and they're like, wait, what do you mean, Eladio? What is it?
Yeah.
No, Eladio. Oh man, it's just funny sometimes seeing them like struggle.
Yep.
Trying to pronounce it like at my job, which I'm not at anymore.
Yeah.
Thanks, Corona. But like like the little tag,
Yeah.
because I have a tag on my job which just says my name.
Yeah.
People, what's your name? I just like, I show them the tag. I'm like, try
Right.
saying that. I don't even tell them.
Yeah.
I just love to hear them like struggle
Try
with it. It's
and
like, go ahead, try
struggle.
say that. Let me see how you say it. And then they butcher it horribly. But yeah, thank you, Diakha, for coming on the podcast.
Thank
There's a
you
lot of
for
things
having
that
me.
I find really interesting about you. I mean, other than I know you are City's older sister.
Older sister.
So, I know you that way, and I'm
Yeah.
good friends with City. City's done this like
Multiple
like
times.
like 10 times at this point.
Yup.
That's who I call just to, maybe if I'm having some trouble, like guest didn't show up or something, I actually text him.
Yeah.
But and he does it. And he's just a fun, like, I can bounce off of pretty easily. He's very like cool. He's like the perfect opposite of me because he's very chill. But we both kind of have the same sense of humor, so
Right.
we just laugh. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
But I also know you, and I want to start with this because you wrote a book and published a book and have a book. That's one of the, man, I remember when that came out. That's actually one of the first episodes. That was one of the first clips that came out. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember.
But I was me talking about that you wrote a book and how
Yeah.
like having a book is one of the most impressive things I think for anybody to do, because to me a book is almost like the most permanent thing in this world. You know what I mean? If you think about it.
Yeah.
Like books have been around since a long time, like
course.
written word.
Yeah.
So that in itself, especially for me, because I think a lot about like legacy and just how you're gonna be remembered.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that I've never thought about writing a book,
Right.
but think books in general are just like, I'm always impressed by it. So what made you want to write a book in the first place?
I've always wanted to be a published author when I was younger, but before I published Black Thorns, I was hospitalized for like 5 days. But I was sick, and during that time I was thinking, I was like, I have all these poems written out. I need to publish a book.
Yeah.
So when I got out the hospital, I automatically tried to do some research on like how I could self-publish, because I was just starting out, so it wasn't like I was gonna find a publisher anyways. And then I found Amazon, and I was like, oh, I could publish my book through here. So then I went through that process, and boom, I came out with a book. I didn't tell anybody. I was just like, yeah,
cool.
I'm doing this. Like,
That's
no
cool.
one's gonna know. That's why everybody was shocked when it came out.
I mean, but there's more to a book than just Amazon, right? Because I mean, obviously you have to print out. It's like if you have a physical book, there's a lot that goes into that.
Yep.
So, but wait, before we continue, what exactly what happened that you were hospitalized for 5 days?
I had this sickness where I was just like constantly throwing up. Like, even the doctors couldn't even explain it, but like everything I ate just wasn't like it was. I was just throwing it up.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, like it was really bad.
They never figured out what it was.
They kind of did, but they really didn't, and they were just like, you'll be fine.
They're
Like,
just saying maybe this is what, like, they didn't know exactly what it was. It was like,
yeah,
it's possibly this, but it could
right,
also be this. And they're
right.
just like,
And I'm just like, that doesn't help me.
that's
So,
weird. I mean,
yeah,
if you're at the hospital, I would rather what I'm what. Listen, you studied for however many years, you're getting
right,
paid however much money
right.
for you to tell me we don't know what it is. It's like
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
yeah,
You know what I
it
mean?
is.
I
It
wouldn't
is.
want to be in that situation.
Yeah,
But you're good now. That was just like
yeah,
a
I'm
temporary
good.
thing.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
yeah,
But no, but I want to know more about the book creating process of
right.
like I said, like the paper, like I guess you have to choose what kind of paper you want. You have to choose like a paperback, hardback, like the covers, like all that. How did all of that go?
So I published through this thing called Amazon Kindle Publishing. I know I probably said it wrong, but it's close to it.
Sounds right.
So on the page, you basically have to upload your manuscript, which is like the document of all of your writing. And then you have to upload a cover page and the back page. And then a description of your book, what category it fits into, and things like that. So when I first went on the website and I did my research, I was like, oh, this is going to be a lot of work. Because I already had the poems like set.
Yeah.
But going to the website, it kind of helped me like figure out how I wanted my poems to be set up. So I wanted it in chapters. I wanted each chapter to actually mean something. And then like I had to create a cover for the book, and I use Canva for that. Canva is awesome.
I use Canva for everything that you see of this
Everything.
podcast is Canva.
Canva
It's
is
perfect.
awesome.
I mean, it's free. It's like all the design.
Yeah,
I can. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
it is.
And then creating my manuscript, like I just used Word, and then I was the one editing my poems. I kind of wanted to get an editor, but at the time, like, I think I was rushing the process, which is why, like, for my second book, I'm really taking my time.
Oh, there's
But,
a second book coming.
yeah.
That's great to know. That's great to hear.
So for the first one, I was rushing it, but I still tried to edit as much as possible, read it constantly over and over and over again. And then when I was ready to actually, like, get the proof of it, like, Amazon sent me a proof. So that's what I actually posted on my social media, and people were just like, "Oh my god!"
So they sent you the actual book is what it would look like.
They sent it to you, and then
Amazon. I didn't realize that they did all that. They
Yeah.
kind of just have their own. That's very smart, especially I mean how they even started and just Kindle and all that.
right.
It's very smart that they made their distribution of books into actual publishing and creating of books. That's,
Yep.
I don't think people know that. I don't think people
They
really know
don't.
about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I've been trying to like share that information as much as possible to people, because I'm like,
for authors,
it's a great opportunity, especially if you're starting out. And I feel like people our age are starting to use it more often anyway.
That's good. That's very good. That's very good to hear. Okay, so that's how then you were able to do all those parts of the book. And it's self-publishing too. Is there something when it comes to the money that does Amazon take like a certain percentage or something?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Because of printing and also like distributing it as well, because I don't have the actual copies. So if somebody wanted to buy the book, you have to buy it through Amazon. So technically Amazon owns my book.
Right.
If you want to think about it.
Yes,
like that.
yeah. I mean it makes sense because they are doing a lot of it, but you're still getting, is it a major percentage? You don't have to say exactly what it is, but
I don't even remember what it is, to be honest.
Okay.
Because when I had like published the book, I wasn't trying to gain money.
No,
from
obviously
it.
no.
Yeah, because I was
I
just like, I don't even know how many books I'm gonna sell through this.
Right.
So it's like, I wasn't trying to get all the money, but I did get money from it.
That's great. Yeah, because obviously a book is like, how much is a book? Do you remember?
Mine was $7.99. I want to say,
Yeah, that's a legitimate way You know what? I'm about to write a book right after this. It's gonna be my work from home job.
Do it. Yeah.
No, but that's I mean. And I mean, a book is, I feel like, a very good investment for people. I think you're able to get somebody to buy a book for $7.99.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to like maybe like a song or an album, just because of streaming.
Right.
How people can pay $10 a month and get every single album in the whole world.
Right.
But there is no like I guess maybe Kindle has some sort
Mm-hmm.
of service, Audible, I guess.
Yeah,
But
they
to have
do.
an actual book, a
Right.
physical book,
Right.
there isn't like a streaming for a physical
Yeah.
book.
Exactly.
So people are definitely, yeah. Even
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna buy one after this. I just got paid, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna buy one.
Yeah.
But 7.9, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's go even further back into what made you even want to write poems.
Yeah. Oh,
What
so
was the inspiration?
I've been a writer since I was like well, I would say a serious writer in high school, but I've mainly been an artist. And in high school, I
Mm.
majored in art for like 4 years, and that was like a buzzkill. So,
Why?
because
Why?
like I was constantly doing art every day,
Yeah.
so I kind of lost the passion of it. But my passion for writing grew even more. So I would write stories constantly, but like poems, I didn't really take seriously. And then I got to college, and it was just like, oh, hold up, I have this talent of writing poetry. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what? So I started to take poems more seriously, and then I was also performing as well, so that like was a hit for me. And
Okay.
then like actually performing at my school for the first time and being and like getting this love from people, I was like, yeah, this is it. Like, I'm a poet.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
claim it.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. I forgot what I was gonna ask because I need to start writing the question because I just got a question when you said that,
Yeah.
but then I just wanted to let you finish and I forgot. But whatever,
Yeah.
I have many more questions. Okay, so was there? Do you remember? So okay, I understand that's how you got started with poetry, but do you
Mhm.
remember maybe reading certain specific poetry that made you like, I really like this, or was it like a poem that were like, oh, this is so deep, and like you got infatuated with it or something like that? Huh.
Well, I'm gonna say like in high school, I was an intern at this place called the Attic Youth Center, and I think that's where my love of poetry really grew. We did this project this one summer that I was interning there, and we were writing a book. So this was like the first book that I actually ever had, but it was a
Okay.
group of students who like whose poems were in the book.
Right.
And our final project was like performing these poems like to everyone. And so we had like a teacher, and she was very inspiring to me. Like,
Yeah.
her poems were just the way she was teaching us how to write poems, or just like it was so inspiring. I was just like, yeah, I see myself actually being a poet and actually writing my own poems and taking it seriously.
Okay. How does she do you, what are some like things that you remember from what like for writing poems? Let's say if anybody's listening to this, they want to start writing poems or
Yeah.
something. What was like a couple of useful tips that you remember from her class when it
One
comes to that?
thing that I always remember and always go back to when I'm writing is I remember like we would always sit down, and she would choose like a few words and write on the board, and she's just like, these are the words I want in your poems. Or we
Okay.
would have a line from a story or another poem, and we would start with that line and just flow with it. And I was like, whoa.
You
This
just
is-
keep going from
Yes.
that. Okay.
So it's like that
Yeah.
kind of helped me from overthinking, and
Yeah,
it helped
yeah.
me from like just sitting there and being like, what can I write about? Like, so every time, like if I'm on SEPTA, or if I'm in public and I see a sign, like, and I see a word that really captures me, like I'm just like, okay, just start flowing. Like words
Yeah.
just come to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a great speaker. You're a great speaker.
I have to be.
No, I mean, you are.
I
I
have
mean,
to
well,
be.
I don't
Thank
think all
you.
poets are like, written and spoken are two different things.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It could be hard for some people to translate into the spoken
Yeah.
rather than the written. But you are a great
Thank
speaker,
you.
and we
I
were just talking
appreciate
about
that.
before this, like how certain episodes, when I
Yeah.
have certain people on,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to have like a good conversation because some people
Yeah.
give me 2-3 words.
Yeah.
It's like the poem thing, like
Yeah.
2-3 words, but they don't go
Yeah.
anywhere with it. They just say the 2-3 words, and I'm just like,
That would have been me like a couple
Yeah.
years back. But after
Yeah.
college, I got so comfortable. I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
that's good.
I'm
That's
good.
good. Are you,
Yeah.
Wait, you're done? You graduated
yeah,
from
I
college?
graduated in May 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's been okay.
Yeah,
What?
it's about to
What?
be a year.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I didn't realize. I guess I didn't know your age. I think that kind
Yeah.
of lets me know. But okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, go.
Mm-hmm.
This is the question I was gonna ask earlier that I forgot.
Yeah.
So your high school had like the major thing? Because I don't
Yeah.
think that's a thing well, obviously, definitely not mine, but
Yeah.
it's a weird thing because I know a couple of people that told me, oh
Yeah.
yeah, my high school had a major. I'm like,
Right.
really? Is that
Yeah.
how yeah high schools worked? I never
Mm-hmm.
heard of that. How does that work?
Well, the high school I went to, I don't even want to name it, but
Okay, doesn't matter.
the way they had their thing set up was they had like the art major, drama, music, a dance major, and then there was like the health major as well. And I think there was a computer science major, but I don't remember. Um, Whoever is watching this and they went to the school and they know which school I'm talking about, please correct me. But yeah, so I was, but they kind of changed it over the years, so I
Yeah.
don't know how it's going right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Then they also had a humanities major as well for like people who just didn't know what they wanted to
Right.
major
Right.
in. It's
Yeah,
like college
humanities.
pretty much, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, like the
oh,
mass communications major.
yeah.
Wait, why? If you can say, why
Mhm.
don't you want to name that? Is it a specific
You know what?
thing?
I'll just name it. It
Well,
was
you don't have to name it.
FLC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But why did you want to name
I don't
it?
know. I was just like, do I
Yeah.
want to put FLC on blast?
Is it?
Yeah,
Listen,
it was
I had
FLC.
an episode with my friend Jayla,
Yeah.
and she goes to St. Joseph's University, and the
Yeah.
title of the episode was "Racist St. Joseph's."
Oh my god.
So we don't care about putting people on blast or
Yeah.
institutions on blast. I mean, I talk about how shitty certain temple teachers are. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I
Yeah.
can't control. I mean, so you thought it, but okay,
Mhm.
good topic to go on. So, what was your experience like then in FLC? You didn't like it, or just the school wasn't good?
The school was great.
Oh wait, do you mean
No,
that?
I'm being serious. Like
Okay,
the
okay.
school was great. The teachers were great. It was just me as well, I was a great student, but I was a very nerdy, weird kid. Like I wasn't cool. Like I didn't find my coolness at the time.
Right.
I found my coolness in college.
Right.
Even when I started college, like I was struggling to find myself and then to find my voice as well. But in high school, I was just this weird kid, this weird art major girl. So my experience in high school wasn't that great.
Wait, but what do you mean by weird?
Weird as in like she kept to herself. She wasn't like she was very introverted and
Okay.
introverted in a way that like I didn't like people. Like I
right.
didn't like to be surrounded with people. Like and the people in my high school were too cool. And
it was okay. You were just okay.
I was
separated.
very distant.
Did you have like your own group or even your own group
I had
of
my
friends?
own
I feel like
group
people.
of friends. Like mad cool people. I only talked to like 2 people from high school. 2 to 3 people, I want to say. Yeah. Yeah. Like after that, I was just like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so then even in high school, you decided to be an art major. You said. So
Yes.
so you like art then for a long time, or when you went into high school, did you know you liked art, or was it like I'm interested in this? Let's see where this goes.
When I signed up for FLC and I got in, when I had applied, I had the option of choosing like what I wanted to major in, and then I was just like, oh, art. Well, art is here. I wanted to do creative writing, but they didn't have it, so I was just like, all right, I'll just do art. Because I was actually really passionate about art, and I was always like drawing and painting, but I sucked at it, and I was just like, oh, maybe I can like become a better artist. And I actually became a better artist.
I was just about to say, yeah.
But then I started to hate art
because you did it so much.
I did it so much. It was just like, yeah, I don't like this. I still don't like it today.
What are some like stereotypes about art people that you think are true and that they're not true?
Oh, that's a great question.
Because obviously I feel like art, even art in and of itself, has this weird connotation, and then art people have a weird connotation.
Yeah.
And I actually want to talk about with you and your culture and how that clashes with art in itself. How, because I want to know about that and just
me, I'm gonna answer me and my culture and being a creative,
right?
Because like for me, I knew if I was going into college, I needed to go into something that would bring money. Like I
Right.
couldn't do the art thing
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the writing thing, which is why I had to put writing on hold and just
Mm.
make it a hobby instead of
Right.
making it like my full lifelong career
Right. Yeah.
passion
Yeah. Yeah.
type of thing. So, like in terms of like parents and like family members and like my culture,
Yeah. So what's your ethnicity? Is
I
that the
am
right way to
African.
ask that?
Yeah,
Ethnicity?
I'm African.
African. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you were born in the
I
United
was born
States?
here.
Where were your parents born?
My parents were born in Mauritania, West Africa.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's and that's more than what I'm talking about because
Right.
I feel like I guess if I talk about in my culture, right,
Mhm.
like with my parents, it's
Right.
very hard to convince them that you want to do arts or creatives type
Yeah.
of stuff
yeah.
because they say, well, you can't really make money off of that.
Yep.
So they're very like, you need something that,
Something more.
yeah. So
Mhm.
I mean,
It
this
happens.
I've been going through that. I mean, right
Yeah.
now, I think my parents still think I'm doing a business major.
Wow.
Wait, no, a law major.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not doing a
What's
law
your major now?
I'm doing media studies and production.
Nice.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm producing
Because
media.
this is your passion.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's the thing.
Yeah, and I mean, and I guess the way I've always seen it, I mean, I
Mhm.
think they're right with the money and like having a solid plan and being
Right.
able to have a stable income.
Right.
That makes sense to me, and that's why like certain jobs I've had, I've always done that.
Right.
But in terms of like what I want my career to be, I feel
Yeah.
like I can definitely, like, I don't know, like especially like something like a podcast or even just hosting broadcasting. I think
Mhm.
you might not be able to make a lot of money, but you can still make. There's an industry there, right, where it's
Yep.
like you can go in there and do that kind of stuff. So I'm not too worried about that.
Mhm.
But for now, I'm just working whatever job I have, a
Right.
good job,
Right.
and just doing this on
Right.
my free time, which I
Right.
have a lot of right now. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna be doing a lot more episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when it comes to you, then is it
Mhm.
kind of a similar thing where like wanting to write a book or like or being a poet or like all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I remember when I published my book, this one person that she's amazing. She's like the best person ever. She basically told me like, this is your thing. This is what you should be doing like full time,
Yeah.
being a poet. And I was like, I laughed and I was just like, I can't bring money
Yeah.
into the
Yeah,
family. Like, I see myself as a breadwinner. Like, I actually see myself just like providing for my family
Yeah.
constantly.
Okay.
And
yeah.
so it's like I need to be realistic. So
Hmm.
and like psychology, which is like my background, I love it. Like I'm passionate about it as well. But poetry has my heart, and eventually, like I do see myself being like a full-time poet.
Oh, yeah.
One day.
Yeah, for
One
sure.
day.
I mean, you already have a book. I mean,
Yeah.
you're already making money off of your poems. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's what. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, a poet. That's for some reason I don't know a lot of poets, or I guess people that describe themselves
Yeah.
as poets. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people have tried doing poetry, including me.
Yeah.
Just never posted it anywhere. I mean,
Right.
I've done this. I've done the thing where like, I don't know if a lot of guys have done this, but I've definitely done like poems that you
Yeah.
write for a significant other and you give it to them. I've definitely done that. I did that like one time to this girl in sophomore year of high school, I think it was, like in front of a couple of classmates, and
Yeah.
it was like an envelope, and it had
Right.
like I used the Microsoft Word like
Yeah.
the like a format that was weird with like a
Wow.
red square around it.
Yeah.
I didn't have Canva back then,
Right.
so I wanted to put a little dazzle on it, but.
That's so cute.
But yeah. It was like, oh, the girls were like, oh, that's so cute. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know if the poem was probably trash, but
Nah, don't say
it's a
that.
thought
Don't
that
say
counts.
that.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
It is a thought that
If you
counts.
see a poem
Yeah.
given to you, I feel like women like that, right? I
It
don't know,
depends
maybe.
on the woman. Like
Maybe
yeah,
some.
yeah.
Okay, what's the other side of that? Do you think?
I mean, because I feel like every woman is different in their own way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
they might just
you'll
be
have
like,
women that actually like that romantic gesture
Right.
or consider it a romantic
Yeah,
gesture,
yeah.
whereas other women might be like, yo,
Yeah,
that,
whatever.
that's corny. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want like a.
that's
poem.
true.
So,
You're right. There's
you never know.
definitely-
Like, there's
For sure, there might be a couple women who's like, "What the fuck is this?" Like,
Yeah.
like what is this corny?
Yeah.
And then the poem is bad. It's even worse because they're just
Yeah.
laughing at it at that
Yeah.
point. But But yeah, I was saying because I've never really met people anybody who's described themselves as a poet.
Yeah.
But a lot of people write poetry. It's weird. I mean,
Yeah.
because a lot of people do try poetry. That's a thing.
of
Like
course,
especially
yeah.
in their free time.
Yeah,
I bet you
yeah.
a lot of people write like
Yep.
oh like write
Yeah.
poems or like rhyming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a bunch of old poems. I'm thinking about if I should even read a couple of them. It depends on how personal they are. I want to look for them, but I do want to ask. Yeah. So at what point did you start saying I'm a poet? Then to people.
I want to say after I published my book, that's when I was like, yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
poet.
I think that's a pretty.
Here you go. I'm a poet.
Yeah, there we go. I have
Yeah.
proof right here. Physical,
Yeah.
tangible proof
Yeah.
that I'm a poet. Okay.
Right.
Interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
I want to go back to the thing you were talking about with you feeling like you're a provider for your family.
Yeah.
So, how do I ask this? Well, I mean, in terms of your culture, I guess that's part of the culture to be with your family and provide for them until you find somebody and move out, right? I think it's a similar thing with my family. I mean,
Yeah.
I am thinking of moving. Like by
Yeah.
summer, I'm thinking of moving. Just like they're the
Right.
ones who like they're making it so hard for me to leave because
Yeah.
they're making me do whatever I
Whatever,
want.
exactly.
There's like just say, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
I can see that happening right now.
Right.
But so and do you like that? How do you feel about that? I don't want this to turn into a therapist session, but I just find it interesting because I think our cultures are kind of similar that way. Where like you want to stay with your family as long as possible, or that's what's expected of you. But what do you think about that?
I mean, I go back and forth with it. Like some days I'm just like, wow, like I do want to be here, and then there's other days where I'm just like, yeah, no, I need my own space. Like I need my own thing. Like I want to live my own life and not feel like I need to be always constantly like responsible for my family, because sometimes it's like I forget about myself too. So yeah, like it's a in between, like more so like it's both, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah,
I guess you could say. Yeah, because I mean everybody needs their own time, and I think even just American culture is very like.
Right.
I need my space.
Right.
As opposed to, because I feel like if I would have grown up in the Dominican Republic, let's say, I think it would just be like the regular thing. So I wouldn't even be thinking about moving out.
Right.
But when you see it here everywhere, right? That's the thing that's expected for you to do. Like you go to college, you leave college, you move out. That's like what everybody expects.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you think, is that like what I want?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing because I don't know necessarily that's what I want or that's just what is expected or like what exactly it is.
Yeah.
I think I do want it. I mean, sometimes it can get unbearable. You know what I mean? I mean, I love my family, but sometimes it's just like, listen, I just want to sleep till 9 at least. I don't want to wake up at 7 a.m. for really nothing. But yeah, I find that interesting. Yeah. So you write the book, you write you write your poems. What are your plans then? That's what you want to become a full-time poet. Do you have some sort of plan for how you want to get there?
I haven't thought about that yet because that's something that I would want to think about later in the future, because right now I'm more so focused on my job now and focused on actually getting my second degree and actually just like putting in that work so I can get more money.
Exactly.
Like once that money comes through and like we save up, then I can actually like try to be like, all right, I'm done with this. Like I have everything I need. All right, bet. Let's do this poetry life.
What's that second degree that you're? Well, first of all, what's the first degree again? Psychology.
I have a bachelor's degree in psych.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And what's the second degree you're chasing
hopefully
now?
master's degree.
Of psychology. Okay, so do you? I love psychology. I mean, psychology is one of my favorite things. It's like I remember a while ago, before I even started college, like one of my mom's friends just told me to write down like plan B, C, D, and E of like whatever I wanted to do didn't happen. What I want to be in, and that mix is definitely like a psychologist, therapist, something like that. Because I mean, I overthink a lot, so I mean that definitely makes a good psychologist. You just start thinking about what about anything.
Right.
But why do you find psychology interesting?
Um, Humans are interesting.
Yep.
Like human
Yeah,
beings are.
I mean, I could talk to people.
Like
Yeah.
behavior, thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
just everything about humans is just. And psychology is so beautiful because you're learning about why people are the way they are, like from sexuality, from gender, from race, from like anything about a human being.
Yeah.
From like how we think, from our like from the disorders that people may have, like all of that. Like it's just a beautiful thing. Like social science in general is a beautiful like topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way people act about, I mean, I always find that interesting. I mean, I remember one time I was working at my job at a movie theater, and I remember, because I always try to think of like, because I mean, obviously for customer service jobs, you know, people are gonna be tripping.
Yeah.
So like, I always like to think about, well, what's going on with them?
Right.
And I remember one time there was his dad. So we have a policy that after like a certain time, like we have a curfew in our theater.
Yeah.
So like kids a certain age can come in because of this or that.
Right.
And there was it was like this older sister,
right,
and this younger girl, but the older sister was small, a little person, I guess is what they're called, or some sort of birth defect. I'm not sure what it was, but it looked like she was smaller, but her age, she was like 20. I think she was 20, because no, what was it? No, I think she was 21, and they were trying to say, oh, she's 21, the younger person can come in. Right. But we said no, because the policy was that it had to be like a guardian. It couldn't just be an older sibling.
Right.
So the dad comes in and just, you know, wreaks havoc. It's like crazy.
Flips, yeah.
And I think the reason I was thinking why he got angrier than it was because he probably was protective of the daughter.
Right.
Who had the birth defect and looked like she was younger than she actually was. Right. So I was thinking like, why did he like go so crazy? And it was probably because he thought that we were discriminating against the daughter because we thought she was younger than it was. Right. The problem wasn't the age; it was just needed to be a guardian.
A guardian, yeah.
But I think he saw it as, oh no, they think she's not 21 because she's shorter than the younger sibling. Right. But things like that, you know what I mean? Like I like making those kind of connections. Is there some sort of like, because I always like reading like online like psychology tips or stuff like that. Yeah. Do you have any like psychological tips or things that you've read that have helped you with your life, or that like you find interesting? Because I mean, I've looked it up. It's like, you know, there's always a thing of like, oh, if they look to the right, they're nervous, or if they look to the left, they're cheating. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like psychological tics with people. Can you think of any? Because maybe I can't. Well, because I can't think of any really right now. But I've definitely looked into those kind of psychological things. Yeah. Of how people like react. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean,
psychology. Like, I mean, yeah.
You could think about body language. I know some people study like people's body language to see like if somebody's nervous, somebody's relaxed, somebody's, you know, something else. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely, you know, because I'm a guy, so I've definitely looked at it as like, oh, if a girl does this, that means she likes me. If she does that means she doesn't like me. Right. And I've also found that it really doesn't matter. You can't really tell. And that's one of the things, listen, okay, and I'm about to go on right now. Because it's like, it's one of the things I hate so much is that you can't tell if a girl likes you or not. Yeah. It makes me mad because it's like, you have to actually like, as a guy, you have to make the move. Regardless of if you're sure if it's a thing. No, you do. I mean, not necessarily. You don't have to, but it's almost like expected of the guy. Let's say if you're in a date with a guy, the guy has to be the one to lean in to kiss you. Let's say if it's that kind of environment. Well, you know what I'm trying to say?
I mean, I think it's because society has like rooted that in us that the guy should always take that first step.
Well, I agree with that. I mean, that's what's expected.
For me, I think that's bullshit.
So you're one of those like, if I wanted, you know, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, like that. I'm one of those people that's just like, if I like you, I will tell you I like you.
Do guys get intimidated by that?
I think.
Have you noticed that?
Like, I am someone who's very like, I can be upfront with a guy and just tell you like how, like, I'll tell you like straight up like I like you, or no, like whatever. Or I'll say like, oh, let me pay for it. I want to pay for this date.
Okay.
From the guys that I've talked to, I'm convinced they are like intimidated by that, because they're just like, no, if I got it, I got it. And I'm just like, no, if I got him, dude, I got it too.
Yeah.
So I don't get it, but
yeah, I mean, all right. Because I'm definitely the type of guy that will pay
Right.
for everything if it's somebody like I'm on a date with or just a
Right.
significant other.
Right.
But, you know, I saw a thing, I don't know where, but it was like after the second time or third time you ask, if she still says like no,
Yeah.
right? If you're like, I'll pay for something, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I got it. It was like, no, I got it. I'm like, no, I'll get it. No,
Yeah.
no, I got it. Like
Yeah.
after that
Yeah.
second or third time, that's where you kind of back off, because then you're just arguing with somebody. Have you had an argument? It looks like you. It looks like you've had an argument with somebody about that.
Because every time I wanted to pay, it was like, no, I got it. And I'm like, I'm stubborn and you're stubborn.
Yeah,
that
that's not
doesn't
good.
go well together.
No,
So
that's
like,
definitely a red
you're gonna
flag
have to
off
let
top.
me pay. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, what? I'm trying to think. So I guess you just want to pay. What do you want to pay?
Because I want you to know that, like, I can't just always depend on you.
Right.
And I want to do something nice for you.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I feel like guys really struggle with women doing, or just any guy, they struggle with people doing nice things for them, because they're always used to providing. And it's like, no, relax. Let me pay for this. Let me pay for this bill. Let me pay for your shoes, your watch, whatever you want, your video game, whatever. Like, let me do this nice thing for you, because I want you to know that I care for you, and I want to do something nice for you.
Yeah.
But
I guess, okay, so maybe this has to do with with love languages, because it's something I've been learning about recently.
Yeah.
But it also has to do with like, I guess that could be a love language for you. That's how you show you, like, by buying certain people things. So that's fine. But I don't think that's really the norm.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I don't think that's the norm.
I think it's starting to, like, because there's a lot of independent women out there now, especially my generation. Like, most of us are very independent, and we don't try to rely on a guy or our significant other to always do things for us, to always pay for something.
Right.
Like, for me, my mindset always used to be 50-50. Like, I do this, you do this. But now it's more so just like, if we have it, we have it. If I have it, I'll do it for you. If you have it, you'll do it for me. But it depends too on, like, the person. But yeah,
okay, I mean, that makes sense. I think you're right about guys kind of feeling weird about it, because I mean, I think guys are used to women showing their love in a different way.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, like the sexual way.
Yeah,
I think
like,
that's how they see, like, love shown to them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's such an interesting thing. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, because when I do something for a girl, for a woman, like, it doesn't, that's so weird. I guess now thinking about it, I never expect them to give any sort of gift or anything like that. Because I guess to me, just giving, either buying or providing for, like, a significant other, to me, I get gratification from that.
Right.
So, like, I don't even need anything else after that. It was like, oh, you need, I guess this is the first example that comes to my head, because I just saw a post about it. It's like, oh, you need some hair to be bought? Yeah. Okay, here you go. Because I just saw somebody, like, on Instagram post, like, the girl telling the guys, like, oh, I'm so stressed. Like, the guy's like, how much is the hair? Or something like that, which is a funny joke. Yeah. But that's the first example that comes to mind. But, like, things like that, I do. I mean, I just to a certain point, like, I overdo it. Like, I think that's definitely something, like, even I've talked to my parents about, where they're like, you know, try not to spend so much money on the women you like, because it's like, and I never regret the way I see money for everything, not just, like, in that situation, but anything is like, if, like, money I just see as, okay, I'll pay if I'm satisfied with the outcome. Whatever money I spend is worth it to me. Right. So, like, I could be cheap and wash my car myself, or go to a car wash. Right. But that doesn't, like, vacuum inside, and I'm too lazy. So I just, like, I'm willing to spend $20 on somebody to wash the whole car. Right. Getting a haircut, the same thing. It's like, if I'm able to have enough money to have somebody clean the house or something, like, certain things I see as I don't care what the value of it is. I'll pay it because what I'm getting from it, is what I want. But
Right.
what are some other things? Okay, because all right, now there's a really interesting topic with the independent women thing, because that's definitely yeah, I think guys struggle with that. What are other ways you think guys can't, that you've noticed you as an independent woman, guys can't really handle?
My
let's
opinions.
say. Ooh, okay.
Guys hate
Let's go on that.
when I talk because
wait. Okay, yeah. Go
there's
on.
so many things I can say, like, cause for me, I think I'm a very open-minded person. Like,
Okay.
I'm very open. And so
All
there are guys, and usually I feel like I attract conservative guys who have such deep-rooted thoughts that you can't change their mind.
Interesting.
And
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Like, honestly, I keep thinking about it, and I'm just like,
that's funny.
Why do you keep attracting men like this? And it's like,
that's crazy.
I don't know if I'll ever meet a guy that's actually like open-minded like me. Like, I don't know. Like, my ex, he is open-minded. I think he's open-minded.
That's good.
But everybody else after him is like very conservative, very like, women should do this, women should do that. Your place is in the kitchen.
Wow.
If we ever were to get married, I'd be the one bringing the money, and I'm just like, what, yo? Like, what?
Yeah. That's funny. You know what I thought about that? Like, with the attracting a certain type, like almost the opposite of what you are. I find that interesting because I think it has to do with. I don't think it has to do about the actual. I've thought about this a lot, right? Like, I think I guess the psychology of a guy versus the physical, like the mental versus the physical, or like the emotional versus the physical, is a real thing that I feel like that. I think it applies to guys as well. Where like you're attracted physically to this one thing, but most of the time the people that look physically like that have this mindset. So like, I've thought about, like, for example, like for certain women, that want certain guys. Let's say certain women want rappers. Like, I don't know if you've heard about the Lil Baby drama, where like he, you know, his girlfriend accepts him cheating. And everybody's like, how can you do that? But it's like, I've been thinking about that a lot. I'm like, well, here's the thing. If you are dating a rapper like Lil Baby, or like a type of rapper like that, it's almost like, I don't know if they're open about it, but you can almost expect that they're gonna cheat. Because they're rappers that are on tour and do this and that, and have that maybe that conservative, you know, mindset. But I always say that because I think, you know, I guess we can't choose what we're attracted to, right? That's a crazy thing.
Yes.
Like, you say yes, like you can't.
Like, I agree that you can't control who attracts you, but you can.
No,
You still like.
Well.
It's
I'm saying I don't think you can. I'm saying you can. I don't think you can
control
who you're attracted to. If you have like certain either lustful or just romantic feelings for somebody, you almost can't control that. Right. So that's what I'm saying. But then, so that's why it makes it tricky. If let's say you know better, it's like maybe you know a specific type of guy. It's like those type of guys are very conservative, but it's like, if that's what I'm attracted to, it's kind of crazy. You know, and I guess that's the struggle with like finding somebody who meets both sides enough where like that's where you're good with it. But I mean, it's almost like, and I mean, it's a struggle also for like me. It's like, I find these type of women beautiful, but those type of women would never be attracted to somebody who looks like me, let's say. And I'm not saying I'm ugly. I'm just saying,
you don't know
like,
that.
Well, I guess I don't know that. That's true. I don't know that, but
you're not trying.
Interesting.
Like,
because
there are people with that type of mindset. And I used to have that type of mindset. Like, because I look like this, I'm very skinny and I'm dark skinned, not a lot of guys are gonna like me. And then I was proven wrong. I was like, oh, okay.
Really?
But it's like, you have to put yourself out there.
You know.
And you can't hold that insecurity.
You're right.
Because if you do, that's what's blocking you from any other girl trying to reach you.
Yeah, that's so funny because, I think 100% right,
Mm-hmm.
and if something that I've actually thought about,
Mm-hmm.
but that's, I guess, the insecurities is what leads me
Mm-hmm.
to think like that.
Yeah.
But truly, if I think in a rational way, I think
Mm-hmm.
like there is no sort of like out of my league
Right.
type of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think that exists. I don't think that exists,
Yeah.
because it's like people are looking for different things.
Exactly.
Like, and I mean, it should be proven. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just you see the certain couples that are popular. I mean,
Right.
like Lil Baby, for example, with
Mm-hmm.
whoever he's any single popular celebrity woman.
Right.
Like Jay-Z is the most
Right.
popular example with Beyonce. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so many examples you can think of with like,
Right.
if you look at it like that, it was like, oh, out of leagues.
Mm-hmm.
It's that, but there's like a certain, there are other things,
Mm-hmm.
and that's another thing. I don't think guys really look. That's the thing. Women are better than guys at a lot of things, but I think mainly like looking past looks for certain things. I don't think guys can really do that, and it's kind of messed up. It's almost like an animalistic thing. I feel, but it's like women are much better at looking past physical,
like physical looks, yeah,
for other stuff than
Right.
guys are.
right,
But I think that also has to do with the fact that guys, in a typical sense, guys look for women and try to get with women, as opposed to women. I feel like women have guys.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So when, you know what I'm trying to say?
I hear you. Yeah.
I mean, I've said this before, like for example, like women, you could be dating a guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could break up with him, and you can have 10 guys in your DMs waiting for you, or not waiting. Yeah, I guess in that way, waiting for you, but just people who are interested in you that are
Right.
like, I've been trying to
Right,
talk to you or
right,
whatever.
right.
So you can kind of sort through options, as opposed to guys. Guys don't sort through options, man. We
Yeah.
have to go out there and look for whatever will accept us, and I think
Yep.
that is a dynamic
Yeah.
that changes a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this in the past couple episodes. So, but I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you're an open-minded woman, so I guess I could talk to you about this. But because I've talked about it with a bunch of guys, and obviously guys are gonna agree with me with this.
Yeah.
But I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating. I think there's a double standard
Mm-hmm.
that exists with cheating between women and men, because exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
I think when a woman cheats on a guy, I think it hurts to the guy much more than if a guy cheats on a woman. What do you think about that? What do you think about that statement? No, you don't agree?
We're human.
Okay,
Humans
I
have
guess we can.
emotions.
Yeah, sure. We all heard the same.
And in all honesty, if it doesn't even matter which way, it's like if a guy cheats on a woman, she's gonna be hurt.
That's
if
true.
A girl cheats on, if a woman cheats on a man, like he's gonna be hurt, because we all have feelings, we have emotions.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Everybody deals with those emotions. Differently.
Yeah. You're right. I think maybe not necessarily like the amount of hurt.
Yeah.
But I think, like I was saying earlier, what happens afterwards is very, very different
Yes.
between the two. You know what I mean?
But I mean, yeah, I see like people saying, "Oh, well, the way men deal with hurt is different." It can be different because some of them may not want to show that emotion. Some of them may not want to go and key their ex's car and paint and do whatever they want to do. Some of them may just be like, "Yeah, no, like fuck you, like I'm out."
I don't think that's definitely a stereotype. You're saying like women, does it say that that's how women deal with hurt, or
I
guys?
think that's that's something.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that there's definitely a stereotype. I don't think women when they get hurt, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get even with you by stabbing your.
But like when you go on social media, that's what you see. You see, like,
it's definitely
some women who have been cheated on, and they post a video of them going to their ex's car and just keying.
And you know what's so crazy about that? I did a clip about this, and people thought I was nuts.
Yeah.
But I feel like the way I see it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's that crazy, because that's their way of getting back, of like trying to hurt them as much as they were hurt.
Right.
I don't think it's no more different than, let's say, like a guy gets cheated on with a girl, and then the guy, gets this beautiful woman to go somewhere and like across the girl. It's like, look what I got. I'm trying to hurt you. It's almost like when two people get hurt, it's almost a game of like who can hurt each other the most at that point. And I think some women see it as, I'll hurt them by doing this,
Yeah.
and I mean it works. So I mean you know what I'm trying to say? Like it's almost like the women are so hurt, they're trying to get you hurt that same way.
Right.
They just go about it the way that will actually hurt you. So in that way, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right, but I
Right.
think I understand it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But at the end of the day, when you go out for revenge, it doesn't hurt the other person.
No,
it hurts
you're right.
you. Like,
Yeah.
because then you're not healing from that pain that happened. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah, for sure.
know. The way people deal with their pain is very interesting.
It is exactly. I mean that's all psychology. All right, one last thing because we're almost to an hour, so I want to wrap up everything. Yeah. But I guess one more thing. I guess one more struggle. What's another struggle of the independent, strong woman? When it comes to guys.
When it comes to guys.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because I love hearing these. Because I know I can tell you have a lot of that kind of stuff that bothers you with certain guys.
I think like the main thing, to be honest, is really just like me being outspoken or me just like telling the guy like how like my values, my morals, whatever, what I believe in, and then they just go against it.
So that's what like, so funny because you brought that up earlier. We didn't really get into that. I do want to talk about that. So can you give an example without names, just a situation where like that happened? Because I want to know kind of, I understand what you're saying, but I guess I'm definitely not that type of person. So it's almost like I can't even understand like. I want somebody, like if I'm with somebody, I would want them to have almost like a different opinion to what I have, because I like talking about that and just because that's how I learn. Right. That's even how I have this podcast. Because the way I learn about the world and stuff and anything, the way I learn about anything is from people and them telling me their perspective on whatever it is and their knowledge on whatever it is, and then I can, because that's like a connection that I can't have with a teacher talking to 300 students or like whatever it is. But yeah, an example if you can think of one.
When it comes to like me talking to guys, it's usually just like, if we were to ever get married, like you would be cooking, you would be cleaning, you would be doing all the housework, you would be taking care of the kids. For me, I've seen my mom do that. I've seen my aunts do that. But it's like I feel like we're changing. Times are a little bit, like times are changing a little bit.
They are.
And I'm a working person. Like I work, I make money, I want to provide. I have that I want to provide mindset. Yeah. That's very intimidating for guys. So it's like, you still have to clean, you still have to cook. But it's like, no, you have to help out as well. I can't always do everything. I've seen like women around me struggling and doing that and then putting their life on hold. I'm not putting my life on hold. Nah. So it's if I come from work and you're home, dude, where's the food? Why is nothing clean? Men hate this about me.
You know what? Can I tell you something right now? I mean, maybe it's some sort of like real like what is like machismo inside of me because I'm Hispanic, but just hearing like, that phrase, like there was something in my brain. I was like, what? Yeah. But obviously I'm open minded, and that's I mean, you know what's so funny though? It's like I hate cooking and doing all that stuff too. Right. So like I just wouldn't want to do it, but I don't think I would tell somebody it's like, no, that's what you have to do. Yeah. It's like if you enjoy doing it, all right, you can do it. You know what I mean? Because I know some women that enjoy like cooking and cleaning and doing that. It's like, but that's great.
My thing is, don't like expect it. Like, don't try to be like.
That's what it is. Yeah, no.
As my wife.
No.
Your place is crazy. In the kitchen.
That's crazy. They really have told you that? Yes. Has there been? That's what kind of like 1930s men are you dating?
African
All right. That makes sense.
They're gonna hate me.
That's funny. That's
But,
so funny. But like,
No,
damn,
but
we're really still saying that in 2020, yo, 2019.
because that's the way they were raised. That's the way
Right.
they grew
Okay,
up.
that makes
They
sense.
saw their
Yeah,
moms
sure.
taking care of them,
Yeah.
babying them, so they expect their wives to baby them as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
mind babying you. Like I don't like I'm going to cook. I'm gonna take
Yeah.
my responsibilities, but you also have
Also,
responsibilities.
it's a shared. I mean,
It's
because
a
neither of us like doing it. Why? You know what I mean? It's like,
It's
yeah,
it's a partnership.
yeah, it is.
So in this partnership, you can't leave the your significant other to do 90% of
right.
the things, and you're just sitting there like, yeah, I'm bringing money into the house.
Yeah, you're like, but you're also.
But I'm
bringing
also
money. Yeah,
bringing
so it's
money
like
into the house.
You're
So
not even
what-
really. It's not an equal.
It's not an equal
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
If
Yeah.
I guess it. Yeah, at the end of the day, it just has to be equal somehow. Because
Yeah.
let's say if you weren't providing
Right.
but like bringing in money, then maybe
Yeah.
it would equal out a little bit. But if you're also working
Mm-hmm.
and bringing money, then
Right.
what I mean, who has the more responsibility? You know what I mean? Then it's like it tips the scale.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, that's so
Yeah.
funny. You said the African man.
Yes.
But yeah, but
Because
that's
it's
so,
mainly them.
yeah, but that's so funny because I mean, and you are of African descent, so there's
Yes.
some sort of attraction to African men, but that's
Yes.
the dilemma. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's like
yeah.
that's what I'm attracted to, but I don't like that mindset. It's
Yeah,
but and again, there's so
Mhm.
many people in the world. There's definitely African men who don't think like that.
Oh, of course.
so
of
who
course.
are
Yeah,
attracted.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
always
It's just the men I attract. I don't.
yeah. What do you how do you plan on combating that then?
don't
What do you think you're gonna
I've been
do?
searching for
Like,
answers.
have a sign on you that says
Leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm not about to cook. I'm not about to be a housewife.
No, not even that. Like, I mean, I could be a housewife if I married a billionaire.
Oh, okay.
But
Wait, really?
but if you're not,
But you wouldn't want to work still?
no, I would
Okay.
just write.
Us?
Like, I would just
oh,
sit and write.
yes.
But I don't
yes,
think
yes.
that's ever gonna happen. I
That
just
could
think I see
happen.
myself
That could
working.
happen.
It
We don't
could.
know. You know what I mean?
So, but yeah,
That
like
could happen.
I don't. I'm definitely gonna take my responsibilities as a wife, but just don't give me
Expected or
so
just
many responsibilities while I'm also providing. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. So
I don't know why, but I just find that hilarious. Like like somebody nowadays saying, "If you're my wife, you gonna have to cook," and
Yeah.
and and there's also like a balance too between like being conservative and being like open-minded. There's like a balance there. It's like
But some
you can
just
still
don't
be
have
kind of
it.
true to your culture,
right.
but not be so close-minded with it,
Woo.
right? Like there's a balance. You know what I mean?
There
It's not.
is.
I'm not saying you have to like throw your whole culture out the window,
Right.
and just do. But you can. There's
Yeah.
definitely a balance you can find
Exactly.
for sure. So
Yeah.
where like you could say, listen, this is. I guess it would be like if I'm let's say I'm an African man, which I mean all men are technically, but yeah, technically we all are. But it was like I'll be like, listen, I would like it if I'm the provider. It's almost always how you say it too, and like being open minded. I'll be like, I would
Right.
like it if I'm the provider, and then you take care of other stuff that I
Right.
would not probably be so good at doing.
Right. Yeah.
But-
like, listen, I wouldn't even
Yeah,
mind that. It's
yeah.
also the communication and like
Yeah.
how you're telling the person. Because if you're just like automatically like, no, if you my wife, like you gotta do this, that, and that. Like, I don't like that. Don't tell me that.
Yeah. At what point does that conversation even begin?
In the beginning.
Really?
Yes.
They bring that up in the beginning
No,
with
I
the
bring
wife?
it up
Oh,
because
you
I just
asked.
be like, okay,
Let me find that out. Yeah,
because
you're right,
it's
you're
like
right, yeah.
I can't go
Yeah,
2-3 months of us talking and then I find this out about you now and then I'm like deep in the hole already. So it's
Yeah.
like, there's no
No,
point.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's maybe. Do you think that intimidates guys then that you bring up marriage in the first date or something like that? That could probably intimidate a couple of
The
them.
thing is though, with the guys I attract, in their mindset, they're already thinking about marriage.
Okay, so
yeah.
that makes
So
sense.
it's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, like marriage here and there, you know.
Right. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. All right, that was a great episode. There was a lot of this is why I don't plan out
Yeah.
conversations because I just like listen. I don't even know how this even came up. We were
Yeah.
talking about you being a poet, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden we're talking about
yeah.
African men. But
Yeah.
it's like that's why I don't plan these out. That's why I don't really write any question. I just let it go where it goes. But that was a great conversation. Thank you so much, Diakha, for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, this was a great episode. You're welcome to, if you want to do another episode. Listen, when your second book comes out, you want to promote it. Anything that you want to do. And at the beginning of the episode, I'm gonna do like a little an intro where I talk about where you can get your book and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
You know, to put that out there. But yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. The way we end every episode is with a segment I like to call the Aux, where we play songs we've been listening to recently. The Weeknd's new album just dropped, After Hours, and we're both. You're a Weeknd fan too, right?
I love the Weeknd.
There we go. So we're both Weeknd fans. So obviously we're gonna pick songs from his new album. Diakha, what song do you want to choose from his album?
Your Eyes.
That little. Oh man. Yeah, this was a great. This is such a good. And now we just vibe. We just listen to music. If you got some notifications you need to tend to.